Welcome to Gearhead Lab, your all-in-one garage for car reviews, trim comparisons, maintenance hacks, and real-world repair tricks. You can't call yourself a real driver if you think "I passed my test once" is enough to save you when everything goes wrong at 100 kilometers per hour. Today, you're getting 10 tricks that separate basic drivers from people who actually control a car, not just sit in one. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why most experienced drivers are one bad habit away from a crash they never saw coming. Let's start with something you do every single second you're moving: how you hold the wheel. Most people get lazy, one hand at the top, the other on their phone, thinking they're chill and experienced. A real driver treats the steering wheel like life support. The correct position is simple: hands around 9 and 3, relaxed but ready. That gives you better leverage, faster reactions, and keeps your arms out of the airbag's explosive path if it goes off. Combine that with smooth steering instead of jerky micro corrections, and suddenly the car stops feeling nervous and starts feeling planted. Next time you're driving, notice how often you twitch the wheel for no reason, and then imagine what happens if you need to dodge something at high speed with that same sloppy input. Now, let's talk about the one thing almost nobody respects until it's too late: following distance. Tailgating is like playing Russian roulette with other people's mistakes. You're betting your life that the person in front will never brake hard. A proper driver lives by the 3-second rule. Pick a fixed point, a sign, a pole, a mark on the road, and count 1, 2, 3 from the time the car ahead passes it until you reach it. If you're there sooner, you're too close. In rain, fog, or at night, stretch that to 4 or 5 seconds, because your visibility and grip are worse even if you feel fine. Watch how many people sit 1 second behind the car in front and ask yourself, if something suddenly appears on the road, do they have time to react? Or are they already in the crash before their brain finishes saying what? But distance is useless if your eyes are glued to the bumper in front of you. The third trick is eyes up, mind up, driving, looking far ahead instead of just at the car right in front. Average drivers react to what's happening. Great drivers predict what's about to happen. Your goal is to look as far ahead as you reasonably can. Down the road, through the next intersection, past the next curve. You're scanning for brake lights several cars ahead, pedestrians stepping off the curb, a bus half pulled out from a stop, a bike wobbling next to parked cars. This kind of scanning turns driving from a series of surprises into a series of expectations. When you already notice that truck changing lanes 3 cars ahead, your braking is smooth, your lane choice is smarter, and the people behind you feel like you're just magically lucky and never get stuck. It's not luck. It's awareness. The fourth trick: smooth braking and acceleration. This is where you can literally feel the difference between an amateur and a pro. Many drivers stab the brake pedal at the last second, then stomp back on the accelerator like they're in a video game. That habit doesn't just waste fuel and make passengers sick. It destroys your stopping distance and makes rear-end collisions far more likely. A skilled driver brakes progressively. Gentle initial pressure to warn drivers behind, then firmer as needed, then easing off at the end so the car settles instead of lurching. The same goes for acceleration. Feed the power in smoothly, so weight shifts gradually and your tires maintain grip instead of spinning or unsettling the car. Done properly, you look slow from inside the car, but you actually move faster overall because you're not constantly upsetting the vehicle or correcting your own mistakes. Watch someone who drives like this and you'll notice it. No drama, no jerks, just quiet efficiency, and they almost never get into sudden trouble. Let's move to corners, because this is where even good drivers quietly mess up. Trick 5. Slow in, smooth through, gentle out. Most people either brake inside the turn or rush in too fast, then panic and saw at the wheel. A proper driver does almost all the braking before the corner, while the car is straight. Then they keep a steady, appropriate speed through the bend, with minimal steering changes, and only start to accelerate again as the wheel begins to straighten. This keeps the car balanced. Too much speed plus mid-corner braking or sudden steering is how you slide, understeer out of your lane, or spin in the wet. Good cornering is not about feeling fast. It's about feeling calm and in control, where the car tracks one clean line instead of jumping between several. The crazy thing: once you master this, you end up being smoother, safer, and often quicker than the person who charges recklessly into every bend. Now, here's a trick that sounds obvious, but almost nobody actually does it right: proper lane discipline and lane changes. You've seen drivers drift in their lane, half in one, half in another, changing position without signaling, or sitting forever in the fast lane, going just a little slower than everybody else. A real driver treats the lane as a commitment, not a suggestion. Default to the lane that matches your speed. Keep right or left depending on your country's rules, and use the overtaking lane only to pass, not to cruise. When changing lanes, the sequence is always mirror, signal, shoulder check, then move smoothly. That shoulder check is non-negotiable because mirrors lie. There's always a blind spot. The more you practice this pattern, the more automatic it becomes, and the less likely you are to sideswipe someone you swear wasn't there a second ago. Trick 7 is pure defensive driving. Assume every other driver is capable of doing something stupid in the next 3 seconds. That doesn't mean driving paranoid, it means driving prepared. When you approach an intersection, you don't just trust your green light. You glance left and right to check that nobody is blasting through their red. When you see a car edging out from a side road, you're already easing off the throttle, giving yourself a buffer in case they pull out without looking. When a bike or scooter is near you, you assume they might swerve around a pothole or parked car with zero warning, so you leave space. Defensive driving is basically respect for chaos. You accept that mistakes will happen, and you position yourself so that other people's bad decisions don't have to become your emergency. That alone separates the drivers who never saw it coming from the ones who say, "I saw that one a mile away and avoided it easily." Number 8 is something boring sounding that secretly affects everything you do behind the wheel: car condition. You can't call yourself a serious driver if you don't know the state of your own tires, brakes, and lights. Worn tires ruin your braking distance and grip in the wet. Weak or uneven brakes turn every emergency stop into a gamble. Broken lights mean people can't read your intentions or even see you properly in low visibility. A real driver does simple checks: tire pressure at least once a month or before long trips, fluid levels occasionally, all exterior lights working, wipers actually able to clear the screen, and no mystery warning lights ignored for weeks. A smooth, attentive driver in a badly maintained car is still one mechanical failure away from disaster, while a disciplined driver in a well-maintained car has the tools to execute all the other tricks properly. Trick 9 is mental, not mechanical, controlling your emotions. The moment you let anger, ego, or frustration drive the car, your skills drop instantly. You speed more, you follow closer, you change lanes aggressively to punish someone, and you take risks you'd never take if you were calm. A true driver protects their state of mind like they protect their brakes and tires. That starts before you even turn the key. If you're exhausted, extremely angry, or emotionally overwhelmed, you acknowledge that you are not at your best and drive with more margin or even delay the trip if possible. On the road, you let people merge. You back off instead of engaging in a battle, and you treat every idiot move you see as a weather event. Annoying, but not worth reacting to personally. The real flex is arriving safely, not teaching someone a lesson and ending up in an accident scene arguing about whose fault it was. Finally, trick 10, constantly learning and practicing. Most drivers plateau. Once they get their license, they stop improving. But driving is a skill, and skills rust when you ignore them. Advanced driving courses, skid control training, emergency braking practice in a safe, empty area. These things reveal how the car behaves at the limit in a controlled environment, not for the first time in real traffic. Even without formal courses, you can treat every drive as low-level training, practicing smoothness, scanning further ahead, perfecting your following distance, nailing your lane discipline, and staying calm under pressure. When the day comes that someone swerves into your lane, a dog runs out in front of you, or the car ahead slams on the brakes in the rain, your reaction will not be panic. It will be a move you've already rehearsed 100 times. That's the difference between hoping you'll handle it and knowing you've prepared for it. Now, let's pull all of this together into a scenario you've probably experienced. You're on a busy highway at night. Traffic is fast but flowing. The basic driver is half distracted, one hand on the wheel, tailgating slightly, focused only on the car directly ahead. They're braking late, changing lanes without a proper shoulder check, and assuming the weather, tires, and other drivers will just cooperate. Then suddenly, a car up ahead brakes hard to avoid debris. The basic driver sees it late, slams the brakes. The car behind them hits their bumper, and now they're in the middle of a chain reaction crash, wondering how it all happened out of nowhere. Now imagine the same road, but with you using these 10 tricks. Your hands are at 9 and 3, your posture is balanced, and you're scanning far ahead, not just at the next bumper. Because you're looking through the traffic, you see several cars ahead tapping their brakes early. You're already backing off slightly, giving yourself a bigger gap. Your following distance is 3 to 4 seconds, not 1. So when the car in front of you brakes harder, you don't panic. You ease into progressive braking, straight and stable. The car behind you, who didn't leave as much space, still has a better chance because your smooth braking gives them more time to react. Your tires are properly inflated, your brakes are strong, and your mind is calm because you weren't rage driving your way through traffic. You change lanes safely after checking mirrors and blind spots, move around the hazard, and continue. For everyone else, that was a near disaster. For you, it was just another moment you were already ready for. That's what these 10 tricks really are. They're not party tricks or secret racing hacks. They're the difference between being a passenger in your own car and being the driver in control. Knowing how to hold the wheel correctly, keeping real distance, looking far ahead, being smooth with your pedals, respecting corners, mastering lane discipline, driving defensively, maintaining your car, controlling your emotions, and constantly learning. These are the habits that quietly save lives every single day. If any of these felt like, yeah, I know that, but you're not actually doing them, that's your wake-up call. You can't call yourself a driver just because you have a license in your wallet. You earn that title every time you take responsibility for the machine you're controlling and the lives around you. Thanks for watching. This video was brought to you by Auto Shotgun Media.